1. All right, guys, we are live. And we are working on dividing by one-digit divisors. Our essential question of the day is, how can you use the standard algorithm to find quotients? And we're looking at some similar zombie-themed slides today. So let's continue with our fall-themed math. Here's our problem of the day. Pay attention to our numbers here. A virus is spread that infects people and turns them into zombies. Scientists have determined that the virus is spread when infected people bite someone who possesses what they are naming the reanimation gene. The CDC has reported that 1 in every group of 3 people that are bitten will become zombies. The situation has been contained and only 207 people have been bitten. How many will become zombies? Everybody hold up your whiteboards. Hold up your whiteboard so that I can see your equation. How will you solve this? Hold up your whiteboards.
3 times 207. 3 divided by 207.
All right. That's why we're writing it on our whiteboard so we're not interrupting other people's thoughts. Good job, Maisie. Good job, Willow. Good job, Clarissa. Some people are using the standard algorithm. Some are starting off writing it horizontally. Good job, Soren, Lenny, Julian, Danielle. Beautiful, Lucy, Sinjin. Awesome. Quinn, good job. Oh, you already started solving it. Willow, all righty. You can put your boards down, 5th graders. That's right. We're going to be dividing. I want to know what clue words tell us we're dividing. What clue words? For this one, you can shout it out. What clue words told us we needed to divide? Willow?
Groups.
Groups, right?
Bigger.
Right, when we put things into groups, we're dividing. Any other clues in this question that told us we might have to divide? Something that we don't have in multiplication. Anyone?
The answer.
Yeah, they told us the total amount of people already, right? They told us there 207 people have bitten. Usually when we're multiplying, we don't have a total amount. We're finding a total amount. So they already told us 200 people have been bitten. We're not finding out how many people in total are being bitten. We are splitting that 207 people into groups of 3. All right, so those are our clues that tell us we're going to divide. Thank you to all who contributed zombie bitmojis. Here they are, ready to attack and ready to begin our standard algorithm. We've got some great zombie movement here. Brain.
Well, I sent mine in, but it was kind of late this morning.
Oh, you know what? On our next math, maybe I'll add some more zombies.
Wait,
right.
Yay, there's me.
Yes, we've got a lot of zombies here. Let's start our standard algorithm.
Who is
our first step, guys.
Who is who?
I have to double check.
I think the one on the
Len
very
and
top left is Willow, and then
Willow. We got.
directly
I think
below Willow is
Maisie
Zoe.
is there. Yeah.
Willow has blue hair?
No, that's Lenny.
All right, guys.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
You
Lenny,
guys
yours is the one with the blue hair, right?
I'll have to
Yeah,
double
that's
check
mine,
with
yeah.
I'll have to double check with the.
Yeah, mine's
Yeah.
the one with blue
Same.
hair.
They look like the same.
All right, guys. So our standard algorithm, before we begin all of our detailed steps, our very first step is something we've been practicing over and over and over. We're going to be estimating first. So as you so nicely wrote on your whiteboards, our equation for solving this problem today is 207 divided by 3. We're going to set up our standard algorithm, putting our table. What number goes inside the table always?
The dividend.
The dividend. What number is the dividend?
207.
207. And what number goes outside of the house?
3.
The
The
divisor.
divisor 3. Beautiful. What number do we look at first? Always and forever.
The divisor.
The divisor, which is our
3.
3. Why?
Because it shows us our multiplication table.
Correct. That tells us what times table we're going to be using. We set up our 3 boxes because we have 3 digits in our dividend. So we're creating a kind of fill in the blank. Then we want to see, can 3 go into 2? Yes or no?
No.
No, 3 cannot go into 2, right? So we put our family feud X and we continue. Let's combine the 2 and the 0. Can 3 go into 20?
Yes.
Yes. We're going to estimate. So let's drop down that 3. What could we change that 20 to?
18.
That is in the 3 times table.
18.
21.
Ooh, some people say 21, some people say 18. What's
18.
our rule for dividing with our standard algorithms? One person tell me. One person tell me, what's our rule?
No overestimate.
Yes, no overestimates, right? We're very tempted to use 21 because, I mean, if you rounded 207, it would be 210. But we can't go over because we're using actual numbers now, and 3 cannot go into 20 the same amount of times as it can go into 21. So we're going to have to use an underestimate just below that 20, which is, as you shouted out, 18. Let's divide. Don't forget, we are changing to 207, not the 20. So our new estimated number is going to be 180. Don't forget to drop that 0 and make it a 3-digit dividend, just the way we have with our standard algorithm. All right, let's divide. How many times can 3 go into 18? How many? 6.
3.
3? 3 times 3 is what?
9.
9. So 3 doesn't work. 3 times what is 18?
6.
6. And don't forget, bring your 6 up into your actual answer, and we can finish solving our estimate. So our estimate for this problem will be 60. We want to keep that estimate in mind because later on, we're going to use that estimate to check if our answer is reasonable or if it makes sense. All right. Here's our steps for standard algorithm. Does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers?
Cheeseburgers raw.
Don't make me have nightmares again.
Oh, okay. I won't. What does stand for? What operation begins with D? Divide. McDonald's, what operation?
Multiply.
Beautiful. Serve, what operation?
Subtract.
Subtract. This one, let's see if we remember. C. Check. We have to check our work throughout our problem, not just at the end. I'll show you that in a minute. Burgers?
Bring down.
Bring down. Good. And raw, the very zombie part, repeat. Repeat.
Why does the skeleton scare me?
Why does what?
The skeleton is scary and weird at the same time.
I know, it's zombie Ronald McDonald. So I'm assuming that our whole virus has spread through, I'm gonna assume, tainted meat from McDonald's. That's where we're gonna go. Some raw meat that was undercooked and contained the virus. I'm not sure.
Was that to do it on the Post-it notes, like make it?
Yes. So that good call. Thank you for reminding me. So let me put this back up. I would love for us today, and I'm going to show you mine up here.
McDonald's was in the Wendy's.
No, that's for McDonald's. All right, let's not call out again. Today I requested that you guys have Post-it notes. I have one Post-it, it's a little bright, so I don't know if you can see the colors. Let me see if I can dim this light a little bit today. But I'll turn it off for just a minute. You can kind of see the colors here. I use one little Post-it for each color. You don't have to have it color coded, but you know me. I love my color coding. And I suggest that you take all of these steps, does, McDonald's, serve, cheese, burgers, raw, D, M, S, C, B, R, and create a little key for yourself on the side of your notebook with those steps, because you're going to be using it over and over and over again. And in fact, until we're done working with division, I'm probably going to permanently have these on my board so that I don't have to keep writing the steps over, but I can put a little checklist next to each step as I complete them and help myself to keep track. Does everybody understand why the Post-its will be helpful, so you don't have to keep writing those steps over and you can follow them nicely like this? If you want, you can color code. I usually color code each separate step. Notice on the very top, I have estimate written. Whoa, Post-its are not living today. I think they've been infected with the virus as well.
The coronavirus.
All right, so let's continue. All right, continuing with our standard algorithm. First thing I want to remember and keep in mind is my estimate. My original estimate was 60. I'm going to put that at the very top of my page because I'm going to be glancing back at that to constantly be checking my answer for reasonableness. Now, as I showed you on the side of your page or on your Post-its, you're going to put all of your steps. Does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers raw? All right, and for each of our steps, we are putting our little equation symbol, our operation symbol. So our division symbol, our multiplication symbol, our subtraction symbol, a little check mark, a little bring down arrow, and you can put a little repeat mark for yourself so you can remember those steps. All right, without further ado, let's jump into that standard algorithm. First things first, set up your table. Make sure your dividend goes inside the house. The number that goes first, the number that's being divided is royalty. It gets to have a roof over its head. The divisor that comes second, that is determining our groups, goes outside of our table. And let's set up our boxes. We have 3 digits in our dividend, so we can have at most 3 digits in our quotient. How many digits will we have in our quotient though?
1, 2.
Only 2. We know that from our estimate, right? But the most amount of digits we will have will be 3. If you have your numbers kind of all over the place and not lined up perfectly, I've had students who give me 4-digit answers and things of that nature where they don't have their work nicely lined up, and then, yeah, not so good. All right, let's continue. So our first step, divide. We're going to look again. Always and forever, always and forever. We're going to look at our divisor. Always is first. That tells us our times table. We're working with the 3 times table. Good, easy peasy. I know my 3 times table. Let's continue. Let's start dividing. Can 3 go into 2?
No.
No. What do we put up above the 2?
An X.
X. We cannot go into the 2. Let's not put any numbers in that box. Let's combine. 3 goes into 20. We just did this with our estimation. So it is
6.
correct. 6. Thank you, one person today. We're quiet this morning.
That was Danielle.
6 is correct. Well, thank you, Danielle. I'm waiting for some more people. Come on, get your coffee, get your cereal moving through your body, get that sugar. All right.
We're not allowed to eat.
You're not allowed to eat. I hope you had something.
We're not allowed to drink coffee.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
that's
right.
also
No
true.
coffee. Don't do
I'm
it.
allowed
Unfair.
coffee.
All right. Trust me. You don't want coffee. It'll keep you up all night. All right.
And
I drink it every morning.
Do you? Oh gosh. Okay. All right, guys.
Why can't we have coffee? Coffee
Let's
is
continue,
You can't have
guys.
coffee, Sam. Just go to
All right, so we have divided. Next step, M, multiply. We're going to take our divisor and our quotient and multiply it. 3 times 6 is 18. Let's bring our 18 down below our 20. Our next step, subtract 20 minus 18. In our heads, what is it? Mental math? 2. All right, bring that down. Now we're going to check. What are we checking for?
If the remainder is less than the divisor.
Correct. This is a remainder, right? Because 3 could not go into 20 fully. It could go in 6 times, which gave us 18, but there were 2 left over. We want to make sure that that remainder is less than our divisor, because if that remainder was 3 or more, that means what?
The 3 could have gone in another time.
The 3 could have gone in another time. Are we all remembering this? Yes?
Yeah.
So if this were a 3, that means I made a mistake. 3 could go in, it could be divided by 3 one more time. We could fit one more 3 in there. We're going to have to go all the way back and check our division. In this case, the 2 is less than the 3, so we are all set. All right, next step, bring down. We're going to bring down our 7. And then we repeat. When we repeat, that means we are going to create, starting from the top, a new division problem. So I'm going to put my new table here, and instead of 3 into 207, I am going to solve 3 into 27. And let's reset, starting in blue. Reset for our new division problem. Back to the top. Divide. 27 divided by 3. Well, if you know your 3 times table, you know that goes in perfectly, right? 9. Beautiful. 27 divided by 3 is 9. Put that 9 up in your quotient. Next step, multiply. Only focus on the blue now. 3 times
9
times 9 is
27.
All right, put that directly underneath, and I think you already see where it's going when we get to our next step.
0.
Subtract, yes, that's right. Pretty easy here with our subtraction. 27 minus 27, we have 0 as our remainder. What does that mean when we start to check our remainder? I want to hear some more voices.
That means
that
it's definitely less than the
0
divisor.
can't go into 3, so it's okay. Well, I mean, 3 can't go into 0.
Not that 3 can't go into 0, but
0 is less than any
0, right. If we
positive
have no
number.
remainders left over, then we did our job. We can't squeeze any more 3s out of that 27, right? So since 0 is less than 3, cha-ching, we are in the clear. Check. Next step, anything left to bring down?
No.
No, nothing to bring down. So we move on to our next step. Repeat. Well, there's nothing left to repeat. So what does the R stand for now instead of repeat?
Remainder.
Remainder. Are there any remainders?
No.
Well, you still always check. I did have some students who believed that 0 was a remainder. If you have a remainder of 0, you don't write it as a remainder, right? Because it doesn't have a value. So you would just leave it without a remainder. So our answer here, our quotient would be 69. But we're not done. The beautiful thing about division is that you can 100% before submitting your answer, you can 100% check if it is correct. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a final check. The first thing we're going to check when we look at is what? What did I say we needed in the beginning to look at?
Estimate.
The estimate. So
estimate.
let's look at our estimate. Our estimate was 60. Our final quotient is 69.
That's close.
Is our quotient reasonable?
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
One, I'm going to look out in the crowd. I'm going to call on some. Actually, I've got my cards right here. Matthias, why is my quotient reasonable?
It's reasonable because it's only 9 away and it's in 60. It's in the 60.
It's 9 away from what? Be specific.
60, your estimate.
Beautiful. It's only 9 away from my estimate. So since it's close to my estimate, I could determine it is reasonable. It makes sense. That's what that word reasonable means. It makes sense. All right. So because it's close to my estimated quotient, my final quotient is reasonable, but I'm still not satisfied. I have a way to check it 100%. And that is to use our inverse operation. What's the inverse operation of division?
Multiplication.
We're going to multiply to check. So we're going to take our quotient of 69 times our divisor, and that will give us our dividend of 207. So we're going to take 69 times 3, and it should equal 207. So 9 times 3 is?
27.
Carry the 2. 6 times 3? 6 times 3 plus the 2 we carried?
20.
20. That gives us 207, and we are in the clear. Sometimes when you have a remainder, you'll have to add that on, right? We don't have a remainder here, but if you did, part of that would be adding on that little extra remainder part. All right? So we can determine that 69 people will in fact become zombies. Very scary reality there. And I just want to take note that when you are problem solving, because I'm noticing this in some people's problem solving, you are solving a problem, you are not solving an equation. When you are solving a problem, you wouldn't just say 69. That's not answering, right, a question. 69 is solving an equation. Notice when I answered and solved this problem, I said 69 people will become zombies. So when we solve a problem, please make sure that you have a unit that is answering the question and not simply a number. Does everybody get that?
But what if the humans bit like animals and they have the reanimation gene, and then the
well, I don't know how the virus spreads. I don't know how the virus spreads just yet.
Is it the coronavirus?
No, we already know the results of the coronavirus.
This
is something that makes people turn into zombies, basically the undead, right?
Yay, the undead.
All right, so let's try some of these and make sure that we have our notebook all set up. I'm going to change my camera view. We are working 5th graders, and I would ask that someone please mute themselves, because I think we have another class going on in the background. We're going to be working on pages, we'll focus on page 103 in your textbook. Does everybody have their board, their notebook set up? You all have your notebook set up? Yeah? Okay, trying to get that on the camera. All right, guys. Post-its are ready. Steps are written out. If you don't have your steps written out, then we might skip a step, which I've seen students do in the past, so I don't want that to happen. All right, let's try out number 10, 289 divided by 3. And hopefully you're working in your graph notebooks, so you have all of these numbers beautifully written out. Trying to make sure you guys can see the whole, because I'm going to have to use the whole entire board. All right, let's continue. How many boxes should I draw above my 289?
3.
3 boxes. I want to hear some more people speaking up. Thank you, Danielle. 3 boxes because our dividend has 3 digits. All right, our very first step always is to estimate. We're going to look, and I want another pretty color. We'll use pink. We're going to look at which digit first.
The 3.
The 3. Always look at
two.
your divisor. 3 tells us we're using the 3 times table. Lucky us, we just used the 3 times table. We are experts at it. Let's start figuring out where we're going to begin. Can 3 go into 2?
No.
What do we put up here?
Family Feud X.
Ah, Family Feud X. Can 3 go into 28?
Yes.
Yes, so we're going to put
Yes.
a box around it, which means our estimate, I'm going to rewrite here, our estimate, we're going to look at that 28. And we're going to change it to something in the 3 times table. What number is in the 3 times table that is close to 28?
27.
27. What's the rule for our estimates with actual?
No overestimate.
No overestimates. So 27 falls into that category. We're good. But it's not really a 27 because we're not just changing the 28. We have an entire dividend of 289. So what should my estimated dividend here be?
270.
270. Don't forget the 0. Lucky for us, though, we're still just solving the basic facts, right? 3 goes into 27 how many times?
9.
9. Come on, guys. Wake up. Oh my gosh, this Post-it does not like me.
Estimate.
9 times, and I'm gonna have to get a new one for these. And don't forget, 1 0 1 0. So our estimate is going to be, I'm gonna put it up
90.
here. 90. What can I put up here?
A 9.
9, right. We have a 9, we have a 9. So we know our starting digit. Just from our estimation, what could we tell about our, I'm going to call on from the cards, so don't shout it out on this one. What can we tell just from our estimation about our actual quotient? Julian?
Really well.
That it's going to be in the 90s.
It's going to be in the 90s. How many digits is it going to be?
At most 3.
Is it going to be 3 though?
No.
We've eliminated 1 box, so it can't be 3 anymore. It can only be
2.
2, right. That's the most that we can get. All right, and you know what? With our estimate, we pretty much have already started this step here with division. And just so I don't have any confusion, I'm going to need this space because I think I wrote a little big. All right. So let's begin with our very first step. Divide. I'm going to put a little check here. What are we dividing? 28 divided by 3. We already have it set up from our estimation. 28 divided by 3, we determined from our estimation that it goes in 9 times. So we've completed that first step just by doing our estimation. Woohoo, got it out of the way. Let's go to our next step, multiply. I'm going to put a little time symbol here above my divisor. 3 times 9 is
27.
27. Next step, subtract. 28 minus 27. Everybody?
One.
Thank you. That was like the biggest answer I got from the class today. I'm glad you were able to do that one. All right, 1. Check. What are we checking? I'm going to call on someone. Quinn, what are we checking?
I forgot.
You forgot? Well, what am I looking at right now?
The subtraction.
The subtraction. What is this 1?
A 10.
It's not a 10. it is a 1, but it's a remainder, right?
Yeah.
3 was not able to fully go into this 28. We had a remainder of 1. So what do we have to check about that remainder?
If 3 goes into it.
Yeah, can I get another 3 out of this 28? So we're checking, we can't, right? So the way we check that is to see, is the remainder less than 3? Because if it's 3 or more, that means I could have fit a whole other 3 into that 28. So good, we're in the clear, check. Now to move on. Next step, bring down. I'm going to bring down, and I meant to do this in another color, my answer. Where's my pretty blue? Pretty blue, there we go. I'm gonna put this in one. You'll see why. All right, we're gonna bring down the 9. All right, and repeat. That means when we repeat, I'm going to turn this into a brand new division problem. Woohoo! All right. Well, we could actually, I'm going to keep it in black. All right, nice and neat. Are we color coding along with me? Y'all? All right, begin at the top, divide. Again, now we're still starting with our 3, and we're in our new color, 3. All right, 3 goes into, now we have a 19. Well, does 3 go into 19 perfectly?
No.
It doesn't. It doesn't go into 19 perfectly. So what's the closest that we can get in our 3 times table? I'm going to put my division
18.
here. Right.
18.
So 18. 18 is in the 3 times, so I'm going to use 18 divided by 3 for this section. 18 divided, so I'm going to put it right up here since I had to change it. 18 divided by 3 is what?
6.
6. I'm going to put my 6 up here. Good to go. Now multiply. Keep it with the blue. 3 times 6 is
18.
18. Back down the next step. Subtract. 19 minus 18. Everybody?
1.
I'm glad. With the subtraction, I get the most answers, guys. 1. All right, check. Check. Matthias, remind me again, what am I checking?
If the 1 is smaller than the 3.
Exactly. Is the 1 less than a 3, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, so check. Good
Yes.
to go. Anything left to bring down?
No.
No. Anything left to repeat?
No.
No. So it becomes a remainder. R becomes remainder. And we do actually have a remainder. So we're going to put a little R for remainder, 1. And guys, a remainder just means that you didn't have a whole 3 that could go into 289. So a remainder can actually also be considered a fraction of the 3. 3 couldn't fit in, but 1, remainder 1, out of the possible 3 was able to fit in. So you could write your answer as 96 remainder 1, but in real life, you wouldn't say, I need 96 remainder 1 of this. You would say, I need 96 and 1/3 of this. So you can write it as a fraction because we have 1 out of a possible 3 left over. Does everybody see how that's a fraction of our divisor? Right? A whole 3 didn't fit in, but 1/3 of it did. All right? So that is it, right? We have no other steps?
No.
Nothing?
Check it.
Check! We need our
it.
final check. We need our final check. So that I have some space. Here we go. Our final check, the first thing we look at is our estimate and determine, is our answer reasonable? And
Yes.
Fiona, is our answer reasonable?
Yes, it's reasonable because it's what happened to the board? I can't see it.
You can't see, oh.
Yeah, there you go. It is reasonable because it's still in the 90s place, and it's only 6 away. As long as it's not 10 away, it should be fine. Because
Yeah, we're
Well,
comparing, when we say if something's reasonable, we're comparing it to our estimate. Our estimate was 90, and you're absolutely correct, Fiona. It's only 6 away from our original estimate, which means that our actual quotient makes sense. It's reasonable. Beautiful. All right, so our next step is to check it using the inverse operation. And we have this beautiful tool that allows us to 100% make sure our answer is correct, because you don't want to get an answer incorrect when we're dealing with actual equations in real life. So our inverse operation is multiplication. What two numbers are we multiplying, Sinjin?
We're multiplying 3 times 96.
Beautiful. So we're going to put our brand new beautiful quotient times our divisor. 6 times 3, everybody?
18.
18.
Carry the 1. 3 times 9?
27.
Plus 1?
28.
Well, I'm sorry, that doesn't add up. I'm supposed to get 289.
Oh, add
What
the
else do I
remainder.
need to do?
Add the
Add
remainder.
the remainder.
Add the remainder. 289 plus the remainder 1 gives us 200.
289.
And that matches up perfectly. Voila! All right, guys, what do we think? Ready to try another one? You think we can squeeze another one in? How are we feeling?
Maybe.
How are we feeling? Let's see, everybody. How are we feeling with this?
It's 9.7. I don't know if we could, even if we were in the mood.
You don't know if we.
Yeah.
How are we feeling? Does some of us need some help with the steps? All right, well, if you still need some help, I'm going to stick around after this class and I can do an extra problem and show you how to do these steps. But we will
in block A we were supposed to stay on.
Yes. Hold on, let's finish up with the math and then
Okay.
I'll explain that. So if you're still having some difficulty with this, first of all, make sure that you have, whether you use Post-its or you write on the side of your book, make sure you have your steps and that you're following this. You should not be jumping from one step to the next. I've seen some students who skip to the bring down step before they've checked their work. So you should be constantly checking yourself within your problem to see if the answers you're getting and the remainders you're getting are making sense, so that you don't wind up getting all the way to the end of your problem and having it incorrect. If you're checking as you go along, you can catch any errors early on. Also, I cannot stress this enough, but you guys absolutely need to have your numbers perfectly lined up. If one number is out of place, your entire answer could be incorrect. I would suggest using your graphing notebooks for this and setting up your boxes so that you really have those fill-ins for you to work with. And number 3, and this probably should have been number 1, your times tables are going to come back to haunt you. If you're having difficulty with your times tables, you're not going to be able to do these long division steps. So if that's something that you need to work on, I suggest that you practice those times tables as well. All right, I'm going to end our recording for today, and I will take any questions, and I will stick around after this class if anybody needs any small group support. All right, guys.
Bye.